We've got some bad news about Blade again. We've also got The Boys, who have TV show that's just kicked off. We've got the Acolyte. We've got some news about Creature Commandos, House of the Dragon, and a whole lot more. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. And as I was to say, thank you so much for everyone who's come back for this episode. Who comes back every single week. It's always an absolute pleasure. Remember, because, you know, it's funny. I was looking going, holy shit, we're up to episode 160. To me, that's insane that we've been doing this for 160 weeks straight. We haven't missed a single week, and we've been staying strong ever since. Thank you, COVID, and me drinking way too much. I also like to say thank you very much to Eric for coming past. As always, me and Eric will be coming back on the show later this year, which I'm really excited for, which is going to be a really exciting time and what we're going to be reviewing. So stay tuned for that. And look, this past week, I feel like the news that we've been getting has just been, unfortunately, nothing too exciting besides for a game from Summer Game Fest. After Summer Game Fest, it feels like we're just getting a little bit more delays, a little bit more bad news about Blade, and it's just been one of those weeks. But before I get too deep into this episode, if you have got the time, definitely go check out last week's episode. I had the Galactic Core podcast, the Clan Brandalorian on, and we were reviewing the very first two episodes of Star Wars Acolyte. And those guys are so entrenched in Star Wars and know their facts. It's insane. It was a really great time getting them on the show, which was awesome. So definitely go check out that episode. So without further delay, let's get into the biggest news that's been happening the past week. Now, Eric's already said it, which he said, I'm so stoked for House of the Dragon tomorrow. Well, you should be more excited because season 3 has been officially confirmed and greenlit as well. So House of the Dragon is going extremely well. This new season is about to just kick off. That's confirmed the fact we'll be in season 3, and season 4 is being written currently at the moment. No official thing about season 4, but it is in the works and it'll be coming. I tell you, and this is what I said months ago, is that June, July this year is absolutely stacked. Like Star Wars Acolyte, The Bear, House of the Dragon, The Boys, and then just a couple of weeks later, we're getting Deadpool. We've got Lord of the Rings TV show. It's just banger after banger after banger. It's coming for the past weeks. However, me saying that, which we'll get into the review later on, is that I feel like one of these TV shows, which I'm pretty sure you guys will all know by the title of this video, of this episode, is that Star Wars seems to be missing the mark a little bit and could very much be I could be predicting this. This might be unless some big changes. I know it's only episode 3, which we'll get into, but very much could be the least popular or good show or the worst show out of all the shows I've just mentioned that's come in the past few weeks. So keep that in mind. Also, James Gunn has officially confirmed on his Twitter page that Creature Commandos will be dropping December this year. And this will kick off his brand new DCEU moving forward, with this being the animated TV show and Superman coming out next year. Eric, haven't started season 4 of The Boys yet, but just got caught up on Gen V, even The Boys presents Diabolical. I haven't watched the animated Diabolical yet. However, a lot of people tell me that it's really good and it's about on the same par as The Boys, probably a little bit lower, but still well worth the watch. And yeah, season 4 of The Boys dropped 3 episodes right now, and we're going week after week after week after week. So if you haven't started, Eric, it's all right. You can wait a little bit longer. You're not going to miss too much. The only thing is the fact that if you do try and do the late binge, all the episodes go for an hour, like in the House of the Dragon, so it's just a long binge. I totally forgot the fact that episode 1, 2, and 3 were dropping for the boys. So I got home from work, did all the adult stuff you usually do. I flicked it on, watched the first episode. I was like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, I'm going to be up late to watch this. Eric, some episodes are great, some are fine. And one is the worst, I've ever seen. Is that Star Wars Acolyte that we're talking about, man? Because it could very much be that. But yeah, Creature Commandos, anime TV show. It will be dropping on HBO Max, free international. If you're here in Australia, most likely will be Binge or Amazon, what we have seen previously. But keep in mind, as James Gunn has mentioned, is that the characters that will appear in the anime TV shows will be appearing in live action as well. Now, the one character that we do know that will be his first appearance straight off the bat is Rick Flag. So Rick Flag is appearing here. This is Rick Flag Senior, so not the same Rick Flag that we've seen in Suicide Squad. This is his daddy, Daddy-O. He will be appearing in Peacemaker Season 2 coming next year as well. Also, Futurama friends, Futurama Season 12. We finally got the trailer for that. We got a release date. That was coming on July 29th on Hulu. Again, for Australia, we're looking at HBO. Sorry, we're looking at Binge, Amazon, maybe Stan. It's really up in air who it's going to be. Eric, Diabolical. Acolyte, I gave up after one episode. I don't blame you, man. I do not blame you at all for giving up an Acolyte because, yeah, we're gonna dive into that. We're gonna dive into that. But yes, Futurama fans, we've got Season 12, and it's funny that Futurama is back. Futurama, between Futurama and Family Guy, have had such a checkered past of getting, cancelled back, cancelled back, cancelled back, cancelled back. I think Futurama is the top winner at the moment that's had that long history. Not to mention, we remember that with Futurama, this reboot, there was a whole controversial with the voice actor of Bender. They were going to pay him enough, and that was a whole thing. But I'm looking forward to catching up. I'm looking forward to the new season. How I'm going to watch it is still up in the air, but I'm looking forward to watching it. And it's funny, I was thinking actually the other day, I probably should do a good Futurama binge because I'm sure there's a bunch of seasons I've missed, the latest seasons, but I can, the first 4 seasons I can at least tell you they're like off the back of my hand. But Futurama is back again at the end of July. Now, also, I don't know how many fans there is, Rebel Moon fans. Now, we have reviewed Rebel Moon 1 and 2 previously in the past few months. Definitely go check out those episodes. Fantastic episodes. Really highly recommend you go checking them out. But Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder said the fact that he has a director's cut, of course, and they're going to be R-rated. Now, currently right now, that R-rated look like it's going to be dropping in August, Part 1 and Part 2. Apparently, there's about an hour and a half extra footage for these movies that make it more immersive. Now, here's the thing is Rebel Moon Part 2 was a lot more action, a lot more in-depth, a lot more happened in Rebel Moon Part 2 compared to Rebel Moon Part 1. But to me, I don't, if you've seen it, are you going to go back and watch the R-rated version? To me personally, I'm probably just going to watch a supercut. I don't know if we're going to watch the whole thing all again. But then again, it could very much be something like Zack Snyder's Justice League, where you got the longer version. It made more sense. It was effing brilliant and great. But then again, Rebel Moon was by 2 different directors. Now, the reason why there's a split between Rebel Moon PG and Rebel Moon Part R-rated was because Netflix wanted that, apparently. They said that you can make your own Star Wars, you can make it R-rated, you can do all that, but we want a PG version. Let's see how it goes. So that's why. So August, these 2 parts will be dropping. You tell me, are you going to go and return to Rebel Moon for Zack Snyder's Star Wars, or are you already out? Blade. God, Blade. Blade, geez. Blade is just not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere for Marvel. Another director, the director, has Jan Demerod. He has left the project. Apparently, it was a little bit a while ago, but he has left the project. So right now, again, Blade has no director. The new writers are still on board. They were brought in to rewrite the script. It has a release date of November next year. So we're in June and we have no director. Apparently, the project is pretty much ready to go. They just need a director to finish it off. This has become essentially the DC's The Flash movie with different writers, different directors coming on board again and again and again to get this project off the ground. You know, this was announced for, what are we in now? 2024, nearly 3 years ago, but could go up to 5 nearly of when we got told the Blade movie, and we're not any closer to it. We're not any closer to getting this movie, and they'll have to probably push out again because of this. And I feel so sorry for Mahershala Ali. He's going to be like, well, what's the point? I'm never going to come and do this again, ever. I'm not going to come back for anything. So far, his only contribute to the MCU is standing in the stage at the announcement and 3 lines of dialogue in the internals. That's it. That's all the references we've got for Blade. That's all and what Blade has come into. Eric, I might watch one episode of The Boys season for a week right before, right before House of the Dragon. Oh, actually, Eric, if you're going to watch The Boys, at least watch episode 1 and 2. At least go that far, because episode 2 has which I'll tell you, has one of the most effed up scenes I've ever seen. So I highly recommend at least watching episode 1 and 2. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Blade. And, you know, again, I see the comments, people saying, you know, Blade is dead. You know, Marvel is dead. You know, Marvel can't get their shit together. We haven't seen anything about the Fantastic Four. You know, we haven't seen any of this. And that's right. He was, as always, also Luke Cage. He was a villain in Luke Cage as well. So, okay, let me rephrase that. In the whole Marvel universe, he was in Luke Cage. But in the MCU as Blade, that's all we've gotten. So, fair call. I'll take that, Eric. I'll take that. But, you know, and when I see these comments again, in which we see that, it's Marvel's dead, Marvel's doing this, it's a mess, it's never good. Thank God Bob Iger is coming in to fix everything, bring everything back down again. I just think, give them a break. Like, Marvel isn't dead. We are only a month and a half away. A month and a half away from getting probably one of the best Marvel movies ever. The first R-rated Marvel movie, supported by Kevin Feige. So I think Blade's just trying to get, a long wind up. And actually, right. Yeah, Eric, the Netflix stuff is canon the MCU, I think, right now. As far as, yes, in the timeline on Disney Plus, the Netflix stuff is canon. So, yes, Mahershala Ali is currently MCU in the canon and will be 2 different characters. For me, I think it's more Daredevil that's the canon stuff. But then again, Jessica Jones, like, I can see them using Jessica Jones. I don't see them using Luke Cage or seeing that they're using Iron Fist. Those projects I don't see them using at all. And I think the actor who played Luke Cage also said he had no interest in coming back to playing Luke Cage at all. That was done. So, yeah, I think that's a bit, at the moment, I don't think that's something that they're going to revisit anytime soon. But Marvel director has to come in, just take over and just finish this project. Because if you finish the project, all directors, you will be the hero of the MCU right now to get this project off the ground. But I know I've seriously seen people like, just scrap it, get rid of it. What's the point of having it if you can't make it? Patience, and I'm probably the last person to talk about that right now. Also, finally, finally, another project that's gone on for so long and delays. Thunderbolts is officially finished filming to get ready for its May 5th release date next year. It's confirmed. The actors have said it's all wrapped up. Now, I know saying that when I say wrapped up, next question is, I bet you they're going to do reshoots just like Captain America, Brave New World. Probably. They might, just to tweak things. Again, the whole mindset that a reshoot or extra scenes is it's not always a bad thing. It's not always a terrible thing that they do reshoots. They can, again, add in new characters, tweak things that are better. That's the thing. I'm sure Aquaman 2, I'm pretty sure did reshoots, and that still didn't improve it any better than we thought it would be. No. So Thunderbolts is finally done. Sorry, Thunderbolts with an asterisk at the end of it. There is going to be more to that title that we're going to be seeing. So don't want to, because remember, I think it's D23 this year. We're getting the big announcement of what Marvel's doing right now, because we need to know what the bloody hell's going on with Avengers 5 and 6. We need to know what the hell's going on with Blade. We want to see the Fantastic Four cast on a big stage. Hopefully, usually it would be a whole H, but a little bit different because of D23. But we want to see the cast, see what's going to happen. Where's Shang-Chi 2? Where's Doctor Strange 3? Captain Marvel 3? That's a whole thing. Young Avengers. The thing is, the Young Avengers hasn't even been confirmed, but there's still so much circulation about that. And I read a little bit at the same time. I'm like, well, until they announce something, that's just circulating through the drain at the moment. Speaking of Fantastic Four, even though Thunderbolts is finished, Fantastic Four starts filming next month. The actors have confirmed that they have done their suit up and they'll be ready for filming. Sorry. Fantastic Four will be dropping on July 25th next year. So we're going to absolute, again, stacked year. Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, maybe Blade. Maybe. Oh, don't hold your breath for that. Because I might get delayed again. But yes, Fantastic Four. But yeah, I can't wait to see what this is going to be, how it's going to look. Just from the poster alone, it looks like it's going to be fantastic in that 60s, 70s setting. And I just can't wait to see all the cast up on stage. Can't wait to see a trailer for this. And that Marvel is going to do the Fantastic Four justice compared to what we got in 2015. The Josh Trank and the Fox's Fantastic, which really is an absolute tragic story in itself. And you could do a whole episode of how the utter mess that has happened to that show. Sorry, that movie entirely altogether. Dragon Ball Z fans, all Dragon Ball Super fans, Dragon Ball fans, Dragon Ball GT fans, all Dragon Ball fans, Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We got an official release date for October the 11th this year. This game looks insane. To me personally, this was one of my highlights for Summer Gamer Fest. None of the announcements, not like Gears of War and Indiana Jones, which I'm gutted because of the fact I can't play it because I haven't got an Xbox yet. But Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero looks schmick. It looks fantastic. Not to mention, so for anyone who doesn't know who's played it, this is technically Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4. The styling, what you can do, destructive, over 120 characters in the game, local split screen. This just looks incredible. I can't wait to play this. I'm so glad we got the release date. I'm so glad it's coming in October for all the places, at least October, because I was anticipating it was going to be like December or November, but no, we're getting October, which is sick, and this just looks so good. But yeah, set your dials. I've actually just pre-ordered some Amazon this morning, so I'm ready to get going. Peaky Blinders fans. So Peaky Blinders, the official movie, will be coming on Netflix sometime next year. This is confirmed by Cillian Murphy that it is coming. Now, this has been a long rumored back and forth, and will they, won't they? Is in the works, is in the works. We had got the official announcement in this past week, so really excited for this. Cillian Murphy is obviously really excited about coming to act this character who's still on his Oppenheimer wave. Nearly, oh my god! All right, we're nearly a year away from Barbieheimer when that came out. That's insane. Holy shit! Just thinking about that right now. Eric, I need to watch Peaky Blinders. Saw the first season, but I think I need to restart. I think it's well worth it. I haven't seen Peaky Blinders. I've seen clips. Everyone I speak to loves it. All the reviews on IMDb, every other podcast I speak to love it. Actually, it's funny. I saw a clip the other day of a show that I haven't watched in a very long time. I've thought about going back to watch because I dropped off after season 4. Was Dexter. So can't remember. You know how it's like. You watch one video on TikTok and then next time you go, boom, 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 boom. It's the entire thing. And I was just watching a clip of Dexter. I thought, oh, yeah, that was really good. And I never watched the end or the semi-sequel that was meant to fix the problems that they did do in the end of the final. So really should go there because they're obviously right now Dexter's getting a prequel on Showtime. Don't know when that's dropping. I think it's going to be this year or they've started filming for next year. But that's going around. But yeah, Peaky Blinders, I haven't heard one bad thing about the show. Well, actually, the only bad thing was that people really wanted a movie, and it's coming. So it's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into Star Wars Acolyte Episode 3, Destiny. Now, I said this last week. That, was this a boring start? And we debate about it, and it's a very slow start, and still this continues to be a slow start. This gave us the backstory between Maya and Osha and how they were conceived, how there's a female coven. If they don't use the Force, they use threads. Cool. I guess you got an Instagram account as well. Good for you. And how that's how they use the Force. And literally, like, the power of one. I don't know if you can't see it right now, but I'm doing this weird thing with my hands for everyone who's just listening to us. And that's literally what the episode's about. How these girls were they were not conceived. They have no father. They were made by the Force, which has become one of the big vocal points in the Star Wars community. Eric, not quite as bad, but I was getting a bit of Inhumans vibes from the Acolyte. Yeah, man. Yes, 100%. I couldn't, 100% got those vibes. But this episode is just weird because it's like, I'm here, man. Again, hey, man, the Effect and the Blood Moon Show. Thanks for coming past as always, man. I appreciate it. Now, this has become a really big vocal point with Star Wars Acolyte with this episode is because these two girls were conceived by using the Force threads. Now, I agree. People are like, only Anakin was meant to be doing that. How powerful are they? The Sith, everything else in between. Now, I don't think this ruins Anakin being really special and being fantastic. I almost feel like it diminishes his importance or his uniqueness. Like, it doesn't ruin his story, but how unique he is that other people could do it. And, like, don't get me wrong, there might be heaps of kids out there that are conceived by the Force, but that's kind of like, instead of like, this is why Anakin's unique, this is why he's special, and now it's just gone, yeah, you're not as special because these girls are done it as well. These girls aren't replacing Anakin. That can never happen. They're probably they're going to be dead because this is 100 years beforehand. The Effect and the Blood Moon Show. Of course, I remember you. I appreciate you coming past all the time. You know that. But yeah, it just diminishes Anakin being that unique that little bit more. And I can understand why, but it just feels. I know this episode. I was recently a guest on the Galactic Core podcast, and we were talking about this as well. I feel like this entire episode could have just been a flashback. It didn't need to be this long. It didn't need to be, okay, it's a female coven. Okay, they made these girls, and they were trying to escape from the Jedi. The Jedi steal children, technically, which we'll get into that. And, they do that, and this is where the fire happens. I'm like, this could really just been a flashback from Soul. I don't know if this needs to be an entire episode, and just how they were explaining everything. Like, I don't know. It's. I guess it's not as. Again, I found myself compared to Ahsoka when it came out. Especially after this episode, I'm really not excited for the next week's episode or this week's episode. I'm not. It didn't leave me going, oh, I want more. I really want to know more. What's happening with these girls? How's deepness? Nah, it didn't do anything for me. And I could totally be wrong in the sense that this could be a very slow burn show. This could be the fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and absolutely boring and a bore fest. But 5, 6, 7, 8, and absolutely this is pure Star Wars. Because, we've got those photos where we see all the Jedi load up their sabers and about to fight the Dark One, like Harry Potter. And obviously we get the lightsaber whip, looks cool as shit. But I don't know, just the story, because what happens is that the girls have to join the Covenant. Now, Osha doesn't want to join the Covenant. She wants to go and be a Jedi, because we get to meet all the Jedi all together that were being hunted down and murdered one by one, which got alluded to which happened in episode 1, episode 2, and what's going to be happening in episode 4 if we don't do another flashback, and how this fire started. Now, this is one of the things I found interesting in this episode is we meet Sol. He's younger. He really wants to help Osha and Maya, and the whole through episode, he really wants to help them. But towards the end, he wants to have Osha be a Jedi trainer on Coruscant and all of that, which is great. But he seems like he's struggling, like something really, really terrible has happened, like mortified, like he's murdered trillions or something. Because Maya starts the fire, which we all know, and as we get from Osha's point of view, she escapes, but she sees that her entire female coven. Oh my God! Spoilers left, right, and center. This has been out for 4 days, so if I'm spoiling you, stiff shit. We see that that all the female coven are dead, but it won't be from the fire. There's no debris around them or anything like that. So it's either is one of those special cults that you all drink from the bowl and go night night, or did something happen with the Jedi? And that's why Sol feels so regretful and wants to help them so much. Eric, after the first episode, I was like, I don't want more. I've sat through all the live action Disney Plus, Marvel, and Star Wars shows so far, and this is where I'm dropping off. Eric, it's okay. I definitely don't care about Acolyte spoilers. Okay, that's good to know. The effect, and on the bottom, I'm asleep here again because I'm always happy to help any way I can to help you sleep better, mate. But it's interesting, that I feel like this is just a slow kickoff. And Eric, I agree with you. The whole premise of the show, this whole exciting thing about the show, I was like, yes, 100 years beforehand, a new section of the universe where the Jedi are peak. And so far right now, I'm like, oh, this is right. Female Coven, Force grade children. Jedi also take children because apparently there's a law that they can, if children have the Force powers, they can take them. And I was just a bit like, it's getting review bombed at the moment because Star Wars fans are very, very passionate that we all know of, as we can see right here, and I can understand. But I have hope that the show will do the flip and it gets more exciting and becomes right off in the sunset, like Andor. Andor to me, you were episode 1 and 2 and 3, which is like excellent, dull straight down for me, with a couple of in between, and then ramp right up towards the end. This just might be slow burn, huge ending. Because I do believe they were looking about doing season 2, but right now I would not be greenling season 2 at all. But then it might change at the end, so it very much could be like just wait. And it's just I've seen the comments, people saying, this ruined Star Wars, this ruined Anakin. It doesn't ruin it. It just might not be the story that when you show your kids, you're like, oh, what do you want to watch about Star Wars? Yeah, here's episode 1 to 6. Here's Rogue One. Here's Ahsoka. Here's Mandalorian. Here's the Book of Boba Fett. You don't watch the Acolyte at all. Just put that away right now. But it just, again, I said, like Ahsoka, I found myself excited with every episode. Like, let's go. What's going to happen? This, I'm just like, It's not exciting, not attached to the characters. We got 2 episodes of them killing the Jedi, and then bam, flashback. But this episode could have just been a flashback episode. Or short clips. It didn't need to be a full episode. And I think a few people agree with you. But look, we're just going to have to wait and see, especially with Saul, which I still can't believe that. I do apologize, I forgot his name. The fact that he learned English for this role. You can see that, again, he is the center point for this with Maya. So really excited to see what's going to happen next with their characters and where it's going to lead, and see all the Jedi versus the first Sith in a very long time. All of his Sith, or who the bad guy is, we'll find out. But yeah, for me, this is just not doing it, and not exciting, and a little bit disappointing at the moment. And it's just could be like, slow burn it is. Slow burn it is. But let's get into something a lot more exciting. The boys. The boys are back after a 2-year delay. Well, not delay, but because they had season 3, and then they did Gen V, and then season 4 with the boys. Which we will be getting season 5 of the boys. That's been officially confirmed, and that will be the season finale, which that will be about 2 years away, because they will have Gen V season 2 that they're currently shooting at the moment, which will come out mid next year, and then we'll have season 5. And look, I know a lot of people were just like, oh my God, I can't believe they're going to be ending the show, anything like that. I think it's fine. I think season 5, the boys, 5 seasons of boys is solid. What the show is, what the show is, I think it's a perfect number of seasons. It doesn't need to go too long. Not to mention when you got Gen V kicking off, and you've got the other TV shows kicking off. Eric, he learned English for this. I mean, I would say you feel bad. He went all the effort for this, but obviously he'll be able to use it forever, always, not just thankfully. Yep, 100% Eric. He had 2 dialects to learn English for this role. So his previous Spanish role, which got him the big sensation, was, oh my God, I forgot its name. Squid Game. That's what he got really big. But yes, he learned English for his role, and I can't believe it, because I'm like listening to him, like, I would not believe that you just learn English for this, because he does it perfectly fine. And to me, if I got told that, hey, there's a role for you in Star Wars, but you have to learn English, done. Right here, right now, I'll do it. Say no more. In the reverse, I would still too, especially if you gave me a prominent lead role in a Star Wars TV show. Good or bad, I'd be like, yep, sure, I'll learn whatever language you need me to do. I'll do it. But yes, The Boys is finally back. We got 3 episodes, and I'm just so... The Boys is on such a different level compared to every other show at the moment. And, just the writing, the characters, how effed up the entire universe is incredible. Is just insane. And I thank Mr. Mark My Words for pushing me to watch this, because I hadn't watched it. I only jumped on just before season 3, and because I had Mark telling me, he's like, "Hey, you haven't watched The Boys?" I was like, "No, that's an Amazon Prime show, isn't it?" He's like, "Yeah, like you need to watch this. You really need to watch this." And I was like, oh, "Okay, I'll watch one episode." I watched one episode and I binged it until I think about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because they're an hour episode. I'm like, "This is freaking brilliant." I loved it, and just the twists, the turns. And right now, going up to season 3, which I still can't believe season 3 was 2 years ago. That just blows my mind when I think about it. And then now we've got season 4. So 8 episodes. We've got 3. So we've only got five more weeks left to go for The Boys until the epic final. So this situation picks up 6 months after season 3. So in between season 3, we've got Gen V. So everything's still keeping a timeline. So remember at the end of Gen V that Butcher found the schools under the school lab. Newman's got the virus, and the team has been split up between them being in a special location after what Homelander was like, "What type of animal are you that you shoot your own kind?" and stuff like that. Now, episode 1, straight off the bat, they gets mentioned about what happened to Galton. The episode gets referenced, everything like that, but we haven't seen any Gen V characters yet. Now we do see it in the trailer coming later down the track, so that they are coming. Now this pretty much picks up straight off. Homelander's on trial. He's going to be going because of what he did and kill that fan who threw a water bottle at his son, and he got to be a hero again, but he is still, again, spoilers, left, right, and center. Eric, yeah, Gen V wasn't my favorite. I thought it was all right, but glad I caught up on it because it seems like it will tie. It will tie into The Boys significantly because of the virus, because the girls, they keep I can remember it's not like the Marvel, very much like MCU, but it seems to be because they're only 6 months apart from each other, they're keeping it really, really close on what's going to happen. Because again, I have no doubt what's going to happen with Gen V with season 2 will be the reflect of season 4 of The Boys, and that will lead into whatever epic thing that's going to happen in season 5. I can handle spoilers for the first 2 episodes, I guess. Well, first 3 episodes, I'll try. But you'll be happy to know, Eric, that Homelander is still struggling everything up here. He's still having split personality where he's talking to himself in the mirror, but at the same time, Homelander is struggling to, connect with Ryan because he just wants to be loved. Rebuild the 7, which I feel like it hasn't been the 7 since episode 4. Of The Boys season 1 with Translucent dying. I think that's how long last time there was actually 7 at the table altogether. So he starts recruiting. We get the new characters. We get Sister Sage and we get Firecracker. Firecracker is essentially a character who has the same powers as Jubilee and is a major influencer and does everything left field. I'm talking like, it's all conspiracy, CIA, it's a coup. Oh, she's nuts. Like her character. Now, Sister Sage, she is the smartest character, smartest human on the planet. Eric, the last episode of Diabolical actually gives some crucial Homelander backstory about it. Ooh. I didn't know that. I might have to watch that. I might have to do a good binge and watch that episode. I need to watch that. So, it's interesting you say that because, side note, we get to look like that Homelander needs to go back to where he was born and raised and go back there because he has these basically panic attack and visions that he needs to go back there where it all began. So we do get that he's going to be doing that. So that could be very crucial going into that. So, yeah, Sister Sage, smartest woman on the planet. Homelander recruits her because he wants to find out how to, he needs help. He feels he's getting old. She tells him his prostate's getting bad. He's finding white hairs, not on his head. I'll let the rest imagine it for everybody else. And he's keeping it in a jar, which is really weird. But again, Herman is already weird, and he's this season showing that Homeland is feeling old. He's feeling like he's not the fresh blood anymore. He's starting to run down, and he tries to share the spotlight with Ryan when they try and get Ryan to get going to be number one, and be the hero of the day and get to take his place, which Ryan slightly struggles with because of the fact he's a natural born superhero, which hasn't happened before in the boys universe. Everybody else has to take Combat V. Speaking of Combat V, Butcher is still struggling. He's only been given 6 months to live. He's struggling, not to mention he's having hallucinations and seeing Beck. Beck's basically telling him that you need to help Ryan, you need to make sure he's safe. So he's still got this mission to help Ryan. We get the brand new Jeffrey Dean Morgan character. Looks like he's known Butcher for a long, long time, and he tries to help him get Ryan back because he said, something has to be done because now Marvin, Mother's Milk, has taken over the boys because Butcher can't be trusted, which he does get kicked off the team because of the fact that Butcher does tell him that he's 6 months and he's about to die, literally because of the combat fee that he took in the last season. Now we get that. Now we also see that Starlight is still growing with her Starlights, trying to put that movement between the Homelandians. It's not Homelandians. I just thought it was funny. Homelanders group, because right now he's supporting Newman as Newman's trying to get into presidency, which we also find out that Newman's also invincible and she can't be killed with acid because the first episode right at the beginning they try to take out Newman, which goes horribly. We also find out that her daughter has some really sick, weird Medusa powers and eats people's faces, which is gross in all sense possible. And we obviously Kimiko and Frenchie, which we find out Frenchie's also dating a gentleman now where he killed his family and he's back on drugs. Kimiko is also has this kind of moment crisis and starts wanting to hunt down the people that took her family, put her on the cage in her backstory. So we're going to get more of her backstory as she does the hunt down, which I do believe we also get a little bit about her sister as well, which is alluded to in episode 3. But this just kicks off. Everything just kicks off straight away. We literally, if you haven't watched Gen V, it's not crucial yet, but it will help you. It will help you moving forward, and I highly recommend you watching Gen V. You need to. So we're getting all this. Butcher's struggling, Marvin's struggling, and the team. Huey's dad unfortunately has a stroke and is in hospital, and he feels really bad because he was missing his phone calls because he didn't give him the time of day. So then we get to see Huey's mum, which it's weird. They're like, here the mum rocks up, the camera's behind, so it's meant to be like, oh, who's the mum? Is it a famous actor? It's something like this? No, it's just, well, still a good actor, but the same sense. But it was like, oh, I was expecting someone better. Which we do get one good famous cameo because obviously it would be a Vought production with A Train, and we get Will Ferrell playing Coach Brink, which was previously played by Clancy Brown in Gen V before he went lit up like a Christmas tree. So we get that, and another reason why Homelander does get Sister Sage is because he feels like everyone's just a bunch of yes men around him, which we are between Deep, Noir, who's been replaced. He's part of the team again, but not the original Noir because he got his guts straight at him because of Homelander and because of Soldier Boy. Obviously, there's no Maeve. She's gone to go live a normal life after the massive event at the end of season 3. So she's not there either. And it looks like A Train is looking to help the boys a little bit more because he's getting really sick of Homelander and how unhinged Homelander is becoming. As I mentioned, it wouldn't be the boys without an absolute messed up scene that we do get in episode 2 when they go to TruthCon trying to find Firecracker and Sister Sage. The man who can duplicate himself and falls in love, is absolutely in love with Firecracker, and Yeah, they find him in the showers, enjoying himself, enjoying himself. I will leave you with that wonderful picture that he enjoys multiple himself on top of him, multiple self. And of course, when he multiplies, these clothes don't come on, so he doesn't clothes. This entire fight scene you have, which looks great. It's bloody, it's messy, it's everything else you want for the boys. Everything you love about the boys, these first 3 episodes kick off right into it. And it's just good. And I'm watching it and I'm just watching it, I'm enjoying it, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is just top tier writing, top tier action. And the worst thing about there is no worst thing about the show, but the hard thing is you watch first 3 episodes, the boys, banger, banger, banger. Here's the story, what's going to happen. Let's get straight into it. Great. But then you flip that fans and you get Acolyte, and just showing you the difference between the quality of writing and the type of show. But yes, one, I know a lot of people say, well, one's a season 1 and one's a season 4. Yes, but at the same time, you can still have first season as something to really kick off and have good writing. But it just shows you the difference. That's why I'm saying, what I said earlier, is that we've got the boys, the Bear, House of the Dragon, and Lord of the Rings. Like, if they all have that same type of energy and feel and quality, Star Wars Acolyte could very be the dud of this summer season. And I'm calling it now if something doesn't change. Ryan is also struggling between being Homelander's son, wants to look after wants to chill out with Butcher. He also has this scene where they stage a saving scene which goes a little bit wrong, unfortunately, in which he actually kills his first person. And Homelander's like, just remember, they're just ants. They're just ants. People are just toys for your own amusement. I'm like, Jesus, no wonder this kid doesn't want to be with you. Like, no wonder. Like, goddamn. Also, Eric, the Rings of Power is not great, but it's a lot better than Acolyte. Yes, that's what I mean. Rings of Power, that too. So, Acolyte could be the dud of this summer. No mention. But it's the boys, again, lives up to the hype. I couldn't be too. These 3 episodes are strong, and just seeing where this is going. Now, my theory going into this, that there might be like the Lex Luthor theory, meaning something might happen to Newman where Homelander will take over and run for president, and that will become the big thing. Like at the end of the season, he might become president, and the whole thing in season 5 will be that they need to take him out. Because at the end of the day, Homelander needs to die. And whether or not it's Butcher taking his life, or Ryan will eventually kill him and be, something like that, or Butcher will take temporary Gen V for just one more time to finish him off. It doesn't work. Homelander's better kill Butcher, and Ryan turns around like, nah, you're not going to kill my dad. And then, boom. But then everything else in between, because we know there's going to have to be a major death. There's going to have to be a major death. And I feel like it's going to be Marvin or Frenchie. It's not going to be Kimiko because of her powers. And it's not going to be Huey. And Butcher's not going to die. They're not going to enter season 5 without Butcher. They need him. So there's some kind of cure is going to be in for him. But one of the interesting scenes for this is his sister Sage. She's a smart person. She's playing everybody. She's doing it. Right at the end, end of episode 3, she's sitting there and she's eating fast food. The Deep comes in. She's talking to Deep, who's still got the octopus from season 3, which is voiced by Tilda Swinton, and their love story, and keeps her in a cupboard. It's like, oh no, I thought you were a bitch and stuff like this, and they start to make out and get that kind of stuff. And she's like, oh, do you want to eat more fast food and watch Transformers 2? And then on the table we see a lobotomy thing that goes over into your brain. We see it on the table with blood. So I think that could be indication of the fact that she does that from time to time to release the pressure of being the smartest woman. Because I can imagine you have a lot of pressure going on in your head. with everything that's up in here. So that's probably what she does, because she's about to do unfortunate things to poor the Deep, which actually I think Deep's bound to die. Not A-Train, and Black Noir can't die again. I don't know. Firecracker might, but I could see that maybe this season could be the Deep. But yeah, they still don't have the 7. And one of the things I love about this universe is when you've got, VortCon, Vort Shopping Center, Vort Productions, Vort all this. It's just great. And I know I saw some people are like, the Boys is making fun of everything that's happening with Trump at the moment and due to his court case. I'm like, I always feel like these comments are like, they shot this 6 months ago. They had no idea that the court case for Trump was going to be at the same time when this show gets released. And, The Boys is, sometimes can reflect real life and how the absurdity of things can happen. Because, Homelander goes on trial and he gets acquitted and he's free to go, which turns into a giant bloody mess of about 3 or 4 people dying, thanks to A-Train and thanks to Black Noir. But yeah, this is just bang. Here we go. Here's 3 episodes. Here's the tone. Here's where everyone's at. Let's freaking go. And you have no end. Eric, do you think any of the 7 will be alive when the series comes to an end? I think the only person that's going to become alive at the end of the end of the season 5, I think will be A-Train. I think A-Train will be the last one alive. Oh, nah. I can always see A-Train dying, Homeland dying, Butcher dying, Black Noir dying. Like, just to be an epic battle where they finally wipe them all out, and then there's a new team. They make a new team of the 7 that maybe Starlight takes over and she does the whole thing to make it her team, and do the right thing with the superheroes and a new era. I can see that too. Actually, that'd be pretty good. But yeah, there's a potential that no one is going to live, and it's going to be season 5, season 1. You've got the 7. Here we go. Here's the superheroes. At the end of season 5, you got none. They're all gone. Literally all gone. And the boy, and maybe Marvin, if he doesn't die, he carries on the whole thing, or Huey keeps the boys going to keep them in check, and the boys will still continue. And he says it's diabolical, but yes, that's what I was saying, is that the boys, these 3 episodes, these were the right ones to start. You've got the new characters, you know what's going to happen, you know everything's going to play in the background, and it's just going to be an absolute wild ride until the finish the next 5 weeks. But for everyone who has watched it, I want to know, what do you think of the very first 3 episodes? How do you compare this to Acolyte? Or like Eric, like yourself, you're like, nah, let's House the Dragon, let's go, and Lord of the Rings. Eric, gonna be Kill the Justice League, except it will be want the 7 to bite it. Yes, it will be. It will be like Kill the Justice League. We actually do want the Justice League. That's what I love the flip about this show, is that you watch all these animated cartoons and you read the comic books and you're like, oh, kill the Justice League. You can't kill the heroes. But literally, it's like, nah. You go, no, wipe them all out. Wipe them all out, because they're just awful. Eric, it's HBO all the way for me. Yeah, I thought so. But look, ladies and gentlemen, that is our review for The Boys season 4, episode 1, 2, and 3, and Acolyte episode 3 as well. I would like to say thank you very much for Eric come past and watching this entire episode. I really appreciate it. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Light, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.